WSGW and online WSGW.com.
A mostly sunny good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. It's a beauty out there. It looks just absolutely gorgeous, like it should be 60 degrees or something out there. Well, it's coming. 60 isn't too far away. We'll talk about that in just a moment, but no, we're not 60. We're not 50. We're not 40. We're not 30. We're currently 24 degrees at the airport, 26 here at Radio Center. Downtown Midland is at 26. Downtown Bay City is at 25. We do have a northwest breeze, light, about 6 miles per hour, but it doesn't take much to kick that wind chill in. 17 degrees is what it feels like right now. We owe it all to a high-pressure system, which is off to the west and the north of us, and that high is showing up on the barometer. It's 30.40, and it continues to rise. As we go through the remainder of the day, that high-pressure system is going to be not only approaching, but literally crossing the lower peninsula. And then behind it, we're going to see, with that clockwise circulation, drafting some much colder air down over top of us. Colder in the sense that, well, it's 30 degrees. That's our projected high for the day today. 16 is going to be our low for tonight. So, yeah, it's pretty chilly. But then tomorrow, that high pressure system, because it moves a little bit further to the east, and then a low pressure system off to the west begins its draft of warmer air. We're really going to kick in. Tomorrow, we'll be pretty close to 40 degrees by the time the day is all done, and we'll only drop down into the, well, I want to say probably the freezing mark, 32 for a low tomorrow night. We'll have sun today. We'll have some more clouds tonight, and then we'll have partly sunny skies during the day tomorrow with a high temperature of 38. Clouds will be on the increase. We'll have that southwest breeze. It'll only drop down to about maybe 32 degrees tomorrow night. And then on Saturday, we're in the 50s. Clouds will be moving in as we go through the day. If we don't start the morning off with clouds, we will. Sometime in the morning, the clouds will move in. And then there'll be a pretty good chance of some rain shower activity, as we mentioned yesterday, later on in the day on Saturday and Saturday evening and early Sunday morning. How much rain are we going to get? Unfortunately, for some of you, too much. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if the moisture pattern comes in here late Saturday night and early Sunday morning with a good solid half inch of rain, if not more. I know some projections have indicated to me that we could pick up as much as an inch of rain in the state. Whether you get it on your back porch or not, I don't know for sure, because it's going to be one of those strips of moisture, some of them heavy, some of them light. But overall, we're going to get some rain. We, for flooded areas or areas that are prone to flooding, we'll probably have that situation once again on Sunday morning. Going through the day on Sunday, it looks as though whatever moisture we get on Saturday night is going to taper off early Sunday morning. We're going to still have clouds around, though, but the temperatures will really rev up once again. We'll hit 60 degrees or close to it as we go through the lunch hour into the early afternoon on Sunday. And then another low pressure system will be scooting through, and that low will lower our temperatures because once it moves through, it'll have a cold front behind it. So we're looking for a low on Sunday night of right around 30 and a pretty good chance of snow shower activity moving in, if not before, more than likely after midnight on Sunday night. Another system affecting our weather during the day on Monday. This one is going to be south of the state. It's going to be moving into Ohio, and depending on how close it gets, that's how much snow we're going to get on Monday. The projections right now indicate that we're going to be looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of a couple of inches at least of heavier wet snow during the day on Monday. Monday's high will be right around 35, low of about 25, 26 on Monday night. So right now, Saturday night, early Sunday morning, pretty good chance of rain, some of it heavy. And then late Sunday night and during much of the day on Monday, snow showers, snow flurries, and snow squalls. So we'll be looking at some heavy wet stuff then on Monday. Then on Tuesday, things calm down. Wednesday, for the most part, not looking for much of anything. Then as we approach the end of the work week, we'll have a little bubble up of those temperatures before once again we go back into the deep freeze. I think next weekend is not going to be nearly as warm. Well, I know it's not going to be nearly as warm as this weekend. So if you want to enjoy a weekend and have some temperatures way above average, like about maybe 25 degrees or so above average, this is the weekend for it. Average is 37 in the afternoon and 22 at night. The record high in this state, 69, set back in 1974. The record low was 8 below zero, set in 1943. A year ago, we cracked 50 degrees on this date, 51, and our low temperature a year ago was 30. Sun will set this evening at 6:28, rise tomorrow morning at 7:08. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. We've got Melinda Sweeney from the Andersons standing by. She'll be joining us in just a moment. I think she's sitting down, but the way things have been going, you got to move fast. These markets are just crazy. We'll be talking to her in just a moment. But before we do that, we want to remind you the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrien Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrienagsolutions.com.
Say, do you want to unlock the secret to higher yields? If you're applying dry fertilizer, the key to better yield potential is Titan XC. Titan XC is a fertilizer biocatalyst that unlocks and releases the bound up nutrients in granular fertilizer, promoting better root uptake and plant growth. Drive performance this season and beyond. Release more nutrition. Expect better results with Titan XC. For more information, visit lpi.ag/unlock or contact your Nutrien Ag Solutions crop consultant today. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at the Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency. They are licensed to serve all of Michigan with both conventional and organic crop insurance. And they'll tell you the first few steps that you need for risk management. They've got some pretty good strategists there at the agency, and they can take care of it for you. Risk management is all about taking advantage of the good things and protecting yourself against the bad. It's that simple. Their agents can be reached directly on their cell phones for questions or emergencies, or you can give the office a call in Reese, 989-868-4722. Joining me now, Melinda Sweeney over at the Andersons. Melinda, since I talked to you a week ago, we've jumped all over the place, haven't we?
We really have. The board has been quite volatile, with a lot of people not believing shipments out of the Black Sea would stop, but they have now stopped, which has thrown a lot of shock into the market, and it could also throw business back to the U.S. and Canada.
So at this stage of the game, it looks as though wheat continues to be moving. How high is the wheat right now?
Wheat currently on the futures board, it's up 75 cents, and it is at, I got to refresh my screen here, 11.16 on the futures board.
Wow. Now, 75 cents, is that a limit move, or can it go? So we've been hitting limit up moves here.
We have for the last few days.
Now, what's really interesting is corn and soybeans were following along. Then all of a sudden, we've seen a little breakaway from that. They've actually settled down just a little bit. But now today, what are they doing?
There's a case of bird flu announced in Iowa. So that has affected the bean market a little bit. But with the demand potentially coming back to the U.S., I feel like they're all trying to find their footing here in the market. And there is a little bit of tensions released in Brazil with the onset of some forecasting rain, which could break the drought over the next 2 weeks.
So all in all, it sounds like the corn and the soybeans are moving up as well here so far today, huh?
Yep, they're moving today.
So what do you have on the board right now at the Andersons?
Right now, we have nearby beans at $16.50, new crop beans at $14.16, nearby corn at $6.89, new crop corn at $5.69. Nearby wheat is at $10.36. Sorry, that's new crop wheat, $10.36 for red and white.
Wow. How many years back do we have to go to see prices this high, Melinda?
2012.
Yeah. 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think somebody told me the other day, what was it? Wheat is at a 14-year high.
I did read that, yes.
Wow. Okay, so for all the farmers that have asked me over the past 2 days, should I contract some more wheat? What are you telling them?
I think you got to get with your grain buyer and the professionals you work with, the amount of bushels you're comfortable with, and how the condition and quality of your wheat to see if you can take any of these prices.
Because again, the key to the whole thing is one thing to lock in a price. It's the other thing to have the wheat to fill the contract.
Yep, you got to be able to execute.
Yep. Okay. Melinda Sweeney, thank you very much. We really appreciate your input. You have a great day, okay?
Thank you. You too.
You bet. A little bit more as far as what the markets are doing. Doug Klein from Oppenheimer joining me. The market report brought to you by Steiner Tractor. You know, if you've got an Alice Chalmers, a Case, a Cockshut, a Ford, an International, John Deere, Massey, Minneapolis Moline, Oliver, you kind of get the idea. They have a warehouse stocked with new parts for old tractors, tune-up kits, electrical components, carburetors, rebuild kits, manifolds, mufflers, sheet metal, lights, rims, steering wheels, and we could go on and on and on. They've got it. New parts for old tractors, 800-234-3280, or go to their website, steinertractor.com. Doug Klein, good morning.
Oh, boy. Good morning.
Oh, boy. That's a great way to start. Oh, boy. Here we go.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
I just got off the phone with Melinda Sweeney, and I asked her about limit up move, and she said, yeah, wheat, 75 cents.
Yep, lock limit never moved after the open, basically, or really didn't even open.
Oh,
Straight up.
just
Straight
kept
up and stop.
just kept going.
Well, you know, this is hedge fund territory. You know, this is where the computers just trade. If it's profitable, add more. If it's still profitable, add more, you know, and if anything going the other way, this is a warning. If it goes negative, they just keep selling until they can't breathe anymore. You know, it's like when oil went to negative 20 a barrel, you know what, 2 years ago, everybody went, well, that's not even real. Well, it's not real, but it happened, you know. So, like you say, buckle in your seatbelt because it's going to get wild. It's already wild, but roller coasters go two ways. They're scary both ways, usually. But crude oil hit 116.50 today, trading at 109.80 right now. It's actually down 80 cents. The euro hit a 5-year low today. So, you know, if you're looking for a place to invest money, Europe, you know, I know it's in conflict, whatever. But, you know, when your currency is low, that means, you know, you're going to be able to export. And so your industry is going to profit from that. The dollar, on the other hand, is going up. So that's, you know, that's something to consider. The Russian index continues to crash. These oligarchs are getting margin calls, and it would be kind of cute to see them have to sell their yachts, you know, their $60-80 million yachts. to cover their margin calls. These guys live on credit, even though they're 100 billionaires.
Did you happen to see a picture of one of the yachts of one of those guys? It looked like one of the cruise ships through the Caribbean. The thing is huge.
Yeah. But again, they live on credit, and man, they have cash flow. Cash flow going out, and if they don't have cash flow coming in, which they don't, I mentioned that bank yesterday that just is basically shut down. They went from $10 a share to 1 penny a share in 60 days, 80 days, whatever it was. So they're done. They can't give them any more money. They've got a bunch of stock in their vault that these billionaires have pledged as collateral, and it's worthless. You take a $500 million, $50 billion loan out against your stock, and the stock goes to zero. The bank kind of wants that money back. Can't get it. So that's one good thing that came out of this whole conflict, is that these billionaires are being put where they belong, back into where we are. They're becoming normal people again.
And the other thing is Putin, probably many folks are thinking that Putin is probably the richest man in the world, but nobody can really get any numbers or figures. Nobody can prove it because he is so divested in so many other things, not in his name.
Right. Well, I know his yacht is in his name. That's $1 billion.
A yacht?
$1 billion.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he does have a Carnival cruise ship.
Wow.
Crazy nuts. So anyway, here's your numbers, right?
I'll take
Corn. May corn 756.5, up 31.5. The December corn is 624, up 14 3/4. September 23 corn is 576. That's up 1/4 of a penny. The May soybeans 16.89, up 26 cents. November soybeans 14.68. That is up 15.5. And November 23 soybeans are 13.27, up 6 cents. The May wheat is 11.34, up 75 cents. That's lock limit. The December wheat is 8.96, up 4 cents. And the let's see, that would be, I think, let me look here. The 23, that would be July of 23 wheat is 803.25. That's up 30 3/4. So they're starting to play on that market a little bit too. You remember how volatile it was yesterday. I think it had a $1.10 range yesterday, and that was July of 23 wheat. So that's wild. Crude oil is 109.91, down 69 cents. Heating oil is 351.18, up 1.7 cents. Gasoline is 332.14, up 1.3 cents. Natural gas is 4.72, that's down 6.5 cents. Canadian dollar, the U.S. dollar gets you $1.2672 at the border. That's up 44 ticks, as showing the U.S. dollar being stronger. The Japanese yen 115.63, up 13 ticks. The euro is at 110.50. That's down 71 ticks. Remember, that's a 5-year low. The dollar is spiking again, 97.86. That's up 47, almost 48 ticks. And I kind of checked the chart out, and the chart shows a breakout of both daily, weekly, and monthly on the dollar. And the last time it did that was about 2 years ago, if you remember, about March of 20. It spiked up to about 102 to 103. So who knows, but that's what happened. So gold is at $1931.40, up $10.50. Silver's at $25.14, down 4 cents. And platinum's at $1081.40, that's up $13.40.
Thanks a lot, Doug. Really appreciate your insight. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Good luck out there.
All right. Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Foster Blue Water Oil. Mark down March the 18th on your calendar. It's their big spring open house and sale event going on at their warehouse over in Bay City. So we'll have a lot more information on that as we get closer to the event. Again, the big spring open house and your opportunity to save on a lot of product that you're going to be using this year is March the 18th, Foster Blue Water Oil. Farm Service also brought to you today by the folks at Krejak's House Family Restaurant in Bay City. You got to provide the food for an event coming up? Not a problem. 989-894-5531. And hey, don't forget, they're a great place to eat at too. Krejak's House, corner of Cass and Michigan on Bay City's south side. We'll be right back. Experience the most reliable RTK signal from PC Ag Solutions, compatible with most GPS receivers. Trade in your old radio or modem and get an affordable subscription through us. We have over 25 base station locations across the Lower Peninsula, and we're always looking to add more to our network. Discover more power, more accuracy, and more coverage with our 450 megahertz signal. Call us to learn more today. PC Ag Solutions, 989-868-4444. We've been talking a little bit about the wheat. Our Ashley Davenport with a Michigan Ag Today, folks, talked a little bit about with us the other day.
It's tough to overstate these two countries' importance globally in terms of wheat exports. In 2021, more than a quarter of all global wheat exports came from the Black Sea region.
The Russia and Ukraine export 31% of the world's barley, 19% of the world's corn, 23% of the world's rapeseed, or canola as we call it here in North America, 78% of the world's sunflower oil, and of course wheat was 29%.
Steve Nicholson, global grain and oilseed strategist with Rabobank, says the biggest challenges for grains comes from wheat. Russia and Ukraine either use or export the majority of the crop, so their stocks are low.
They only are carrying in 21-22, the end of the year, with just about 4.5% of the world's stocks of wheat, where the U.S. had almost 8% of the world's stocks of wheat. If you take Russia and Ukraine wheat out and you think, okay, then that means there's a lot left, but you look at the other exporters in the world and look at those stocks, there's not enough stocks there to make up that loss of exports that Ukraine and Russia may not happen.
In the first 2 months of the year, Nicholson says that those two countries have already shipped a lot of grain.
It's not like we have to make up the whole year for the rest of the year, but it is certainly why the wheat market has gotten so concerned and so up in arms over what's going on here.
Nicholson is foreseeing more volatility to come for the wheat market, and that will present opportunities to benefit the seller.
The fact is that you are going to see a lot more volatility, as we've seen in both, particularly in the energy markets. And we see commodities here in the U.S. up, limit up type numbers.
Where will exports have to come from if Russia and Ukraine scale back? Nicholson says there's plenty of chances for the U.S., Argentina, and Australia.
Ashley Davenport with Michigan Ag Today. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Quality Roasting of Reese, offering competitive prices, consistent prices for your soybeans. Give them a call for a quote today. Along with me, Steve Anderson at Baird & Company. Steve, what's going on in New York right now? We just got done talking about Chicago.
Well, the markets have turned around. We started out higher, but right now the Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 120 points, putting it at 33,773, volume 385 million shares. The NASDAQ is down 143, putting it at 13,610, volume of 417 million shares. Locally, a little bit mixed. Caterpillar 193.79, up 118. Deere 380.55, up 457. CMS 65.21, up 73. Dow 59.11, down a dime. DuPont 76.34, down 76. Corteva 51.10, down 20. GM 45.15, down 117. Trinzio 48.69, down 43. Walmart 139.16, up 3. Home Depot, up $3. Home Depot 323.68, down 369. Huntington Bank is 14.98, down 11, and AT&T is 23.80. That's down 2 little pennies.
Steve, take care. Have a good day. All right.
I shall. You do the same. Thank you.
I will. Steve Anderson over at Baird & Company.
Sometimes I think I sound like a broken record. Hi, I'm Steve Cook from Cook Chevrolet Buick and Vassar. For a few months at the Cook GM Superstore, we've been telling you how lucky you are if you qualify for the GM Employee Retiree Family Member Discount. But with all the inflation talk all over the news, I feel obligated to keep reminding you that with a GM discount, you aren't paying full sticker for as much as 10,000 over sticker for a new vehicle, like you're hearing on the national news. With the GM discount, you buy below dealer invoice, just like you did for the last 30 years. At Cook Chevrolet, you'll find Silverados starting as low as $299 and Blazers as low as $245. We now have 200 vehicles arriving or getting built. Reserve yours today. That's the Cook GM Superstore, M15 Top of the Hill in Vassar.
Payments based on GM employee and family lease, 10,000 miles per year and includes all rebates. $28.44 on Blazer, $28.89 on Silverado due at signing. Call toll free or visit us online at cookchevybuick.com. Chevy, find new roads.
Farm Service has been brought to you today by the folks at the Frankenmuth Credit Union. They can help you with lines of credit, equipment loans, financing for purchasing land, credit cards, and more. Just go to frankenmuthcu.org and find out how they can help you. We want to make note also of the fact that coming up next week, there is going to be a career opportunity open house put on by Star of the West Milling. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated people to join their team for the 2022 spring season. They are looking for general laborers and truck and tender truck drivers. No appointment is needed. All stages of career and life are welcome. You must be able to pass the DOT physical and drug screen. CDL licenses are preferred, but not required. For more information, just give the main office in Frankenmuth a call. That's Thursday, March the 10th, beginning at 4 in the afternoon. Throughout the 19th century, the Star-Spangled Banner was regarded as the national anthem by most branches of the U.S. Armed Forces and other groups. But it wasn't until 1916, executive order signed by President Woodrow Wilson, that formally designated it as such. In March of 1931, Congress passed an act confirming Wilson's presidential order, and today, in 1931, President Hoover signed it into law. And with that, we conclude our program with the playing of our national anthem.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
I'm Steve Kathan. Russian forces have seized a southern port city in Ukraine and are fighting for a town that's home to Europe's largest nuclear power plant. CBS's Chris Livesay has the latest from Ukraine.
Huge explosions in Kyiv. The Ukrainian government claiming their air defenses struck down Russian missiles. In the town of Zhytomyr, a similar fate.
I hope that my wife was dead fast. That in this moment, my wife in heaven.
The Pravda brewery switched from making craft beer to craft ballistics, says director Taras Selko.
We need to be prepared.
I see you with the Molotov cocktail, and I see the Russians with tanks. It feels like David and Goliath.
We stand against the huge army, but we will stand to the last.
The Biden administration wants 10